Joining us now is Dr. Alan Janssen. He is a doctor from Genesys, chair of the medical director of emergency medicine at Henry Ford Genesys. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Janssen. Let's talk about heat-related illnesses and who's the most susceptible for getting a heat-related illness.
Yeah, the level of heat that we're experiencing puts an incredible amount of stress on patients. So anybody with pre-existing conditions like diabetes, heart disease, are at risk for heart attacks, strokes, etc.
How important is age when it comes to heat-related illnesses? I take it that those who are above a certain age or who may be more senior in age could be more susceptible to heat-related illness?
Actually, it's the elderly, but it's also very young people. So children are at risk just as much. And of course, as I mentioned, the older you are, you tend to have more medical problems, and that obviously puts you at a higher risk as well.
And what are the 5 most common heat-related illnesses? You know, most people talk about heat stroke and heat exhaustion, but those are just a couple of the heat-related illnesses a person can experience.
Exactly. So obviously dehydration. In early phases, you might have heat cramps where you get severe muscle cramps. You could have what we call heat syncope. That's a fancy word for you get overwhelmed by the heat and then you pass out. And then of course there is heat exhaustion, which is actually a bunch of symptoms, which would be everything from headache, nausea, vomiting, obvious cramps again, and very high temps, profuse sweating. And if that continues to progress, it might go into what we call heat stroke, where is all those symptoms, but in addition, you start to get very confused or disoriented. And that's why it's really important to be aware of early signs and symptoms and try to avoid getting to that point.
And heat stroke, of course, being the most severe.
Yes.
Yeah. And what are some of the symptoms and when should a person seek medical attention?
Well, I would, so as soon as you start having symptoms of cramps, severe sweating, feeling overwhelmed, you should really try to get yourself cooled down. And that could be in a tub of cool water, it could be in a shower, obviously trying to keep out of the heat and get to cool places like air conditioning. If you don't have air conditioning, maybe going to a mall or a library or someplace would be beneficial. But as soon as you start having symptoms where your fever, you run a very high fever, any kind of signs of confusion or passing out, I'd recommend those folks come in and let us take a look at you.
And how do we prevent these heat-related illnesses? Some folks say wear light clothes, some folks say wear dark clothes, but how do we prevent having a heat exhaustion, heat cramps, or the most severe heat stroke?
Well, dressing appropriately, as you mentioned, is always the first thing. So you want to wear lightweight, loose clothing, light in color, so that you can keep yourself cooled down. The other thing is drink water. Don't wait till you're thirsty to start drinking water. You want to drink water throughout the day. Always have a bottle with you. If you're going to go outside, take it with you. Avoid, for example, strenuous activity in the hottest parts of the day. So if you're going to be outside and have to do something, try to choose times of the day where the heat is less.
And should we wear hats and those types of things as well?
Absolutely. Caps are a great idea. Keep the sun off your head. Very important.
And I just want to go back to the drinking the water and staying hydrated. A cold beer is not the same as drinking water.
No, absolutely not. What we want to do is you want to avoid things like alcohol. You want to avoid anything that's going to dehydrate you, because alcohol will dehydrate you. So you want to avoid that, and caffeine. A lot of caffeine is not a good idea because that'll dehydrate you as well.
On a hot day?
Yes.
Or on any day?
Any day.
Dr. Janssen, Dr. Alan Janssen, he's the chair and medical director of emergency medicine at Henry Ford Genesys here in Genesee County. Dr. Janssen, thanks for coming in and sharing what can potentially be some life-saving information for someone.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, stay cool out there.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.